So I'm having a chat with Child of SP. How are you?
We are here. I'm good. What about you, sir? How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So after this interview, it is out to the world. We'll be playing a new single of yours called Issues. Tell us a bit about the single.
Yes, sir. Well, Issues is a track that is roughly like 2 years old. I kind of went out of the spotlight for a year and a half due to some personal issues, and no pun intended. And I ended up living a romance. It was the first romance I ever lived in Europe, and it was the first romance of my adult life. I was 23, and I don't know. We just came from such a different like background, both of us, and it caused us to have a lot of issues. But when we're adults, I feel like as we grow older, it's more about, oh, we have issues, but we can work it out. Then, oh, let me just leave this alone and skip from person to person when you're younger, you know? So that was the moral of that story is exactly that, is that we can solve things that we want to solve whenever we need to for the people that we care for.
Yeah, nice. And we've been playing a few tracks of yours. Are we going up to a bigger body of work or are we sticking with singles for now?
I'm making something. I'm getting something ready, and I'm really proud of it actually. It's been a real big challenge. I feel like as I've been evolving as an artist, it's been more about concept. I feel like concept is what differentiates you from artists these days. Everybody has a cool song. I feel like humans make good music, and everybody has access to music these days. But what's the concept? What's the message? It can't just be, I feel like, at least for me, I want it to be a little more deeper than just, yeah, you broke my heart, or yeah, I'm making a certain amount of money now and you didn't believe in me in the past. I feel like there has to be a point. What's the point? Which is the whole objective of my career, honestly, which is my point is to show that a Brazilian artist can do it at the highest level with the greats because we've been put out and cast out because we do have the language barrier. We do have a whole bunch of settings that don't even let us get into the room. In this case, I have the tools to pull it off thanks to a whole road that was paved before from people that came before me. So that's what it's about. It's about the point. I feel like music these days, you have to have a point because it has to be solid.
And do you think now you've found your sound and who you are as an artist, or do you think there's more things that you need to try to see where you fit?
That's a really good question, Jim. I I think I have found my sound. I think I do have a certain sound, but I feel like experimenting is always essential for an artist. Like Issues was experimental for me. Like I would have never in my wildest dreams imagined that a song like that, because Issues was, I even posted it on my at Charlie Best P Instagram. It was an acoustic song. It was like, no, we got some issues. We gotta figure out. Like it had nothing to do with what you see now. So it
Mm.
became something completely different. And it's exactly what I didn't even know I wanted that. And it became that due to being experimental and taking the risk. You have to take the risk as an artist because it could work. And it
Yeah,
works.
yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to writing, how do tracks normally start off for you?
I'm gonna be 100% honest. I don't think I've ever even said this in interviews or anything. It's the dumbest process ever for me. I just feel like it's funny because it's like, listen, I know it makes no sense whatsoever, but follow through with me. I don't know. I produce as well, so I just start making an instrumental. I try finding chords on the piano. I try finding something on the guitar, and I just let it go. I feel like us as humans, we've been losing our ability to use our instincts. It's always about thinking and having the right answer and doing the right thing when our instincts are actually the most powerful thing that we have. You know, like I've said this a whole bunch of times. Like you can see somebody on the street asking for money, and your instinct knows that that's wrong. That's not right to have somebody sleeping on the street. But we turn our heads because we think about it. But we feel in our instinct that that is wrong. So therefore, I just put it in the. I just let it go. I just turn on the microphone and let it go and see what happens. And that's exactly what happened with Issues because I didn't have the intro to it. I don't know, there's something else about her. And it just came out like that because I allowed myself to follow my instincts, my musical instincts. So I feel like for artists, it has to be about instinct like that.
And with the lyrics, do you find it easy to add them to the music that you create, or is it a challenge at times?
It depends. I've been taking my time more, honestly. I used to be a very, I don't know. I think when you're younger, I went through a phase where I wanted to prove a lot to, I was very insecure as an artist, which is, I think, surprising to a lot of people because artists shouldn't be insecure theoretically. They have a certain charisma or anything like that. But in my case, I was very insecure with my music, and it had to do with quantity. So it's like, show me what you got. I'm going in. I have 50 bars, or I have a melody for this and this. And now it just became about, okay, let me take my time with this. I'm not in a rush. And if I take a week or two to write something like Issues, for example, perfect. Issues was a song that was written on an acoustic guitar, and then it went to the studio 6 months later, and it became what it became 2 months later. So that's a 7 month process, you know. And there's songs that I don't know, there's songs that just take you 30 minutes because it touches you and you're in the mood. It's like a divine connection. It's weird. But I feel like it's all about, again, instinct. It really has to do with the instinct.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And people will want to see you live. What's your plan for doing some shows?
I'm so excited for that, honestly. We're in the process of building our repertoire and our concerts. For sure doing a lot of things in the United Kingdom, which is where my biggest fan base is. And I'm extremely proud of what we're going to present to the people. I'm very happy with this. It's like it's a dream come true because I've been making music since I was 14, and just now in January things started to get traction because it takes time. So it's been 10 years, and now we're able to actually give something to the public that I'm really proud of. And I look at it and I'm like, I don't cringe. It's like, nah, this is me. And when I'm 50, I'm gonna look at this and be like, wow, we were on the right track, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And I'd like to find out, as you're fairly new to the industry now, what made you do this in the first place?
Music. Ah, my gosh. I sometimes when I talk about music, I talk about it like it's a religion. You know, when people say like Jesus found me or Jesus saved me, the music is that for me. You know, the music found me. I even wrote a song about it called, I'll even say this, I'll probably put it on the project, most likely. There's a song called Forever Yours where I talk exactly about that. I don't even remember who I was before the music because music educated me. Music gave me everything. And it all started when I don't know, I was like 14, and I had a friend of my dad actually that used to stay at our house. Shout out to him. Shout out to Isaiah, one of my first mentor ever. And he used to play guitar at church. And the first time I ever saw somebody play guitar in front of me was him. He played Happy Birthday to My Sister in my house, and that just stuck with me. And one day I snuck into his room and I saw the guitar, and I started to try to play it. I busted out a string. He laughed his ass off and he was like, "You want to learn?" I was like, "Yes, please." And then he taught me like two chords. I think it was this one and this one. And 2 days later, he left. He just left back home. He was like, "Keep the guitar." And for probably 3 to 4 years, the guitar was my best friend, you know? And then the piano came to happen, and it's a very long story that I'm very excited to talk about because the way that music saved me and presented itself to me was, I don't know, it's different. It's different.
Yeah, absolutely. Leo, it's been a pleasure having a chat with you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me, Jim.